ladies and gentlemen, thank you for the invitation to be here this afternoon on a very, very important subject, and sadly one that keeps on emerging because some people in politics do not seem to be able to follow a thing called plain common sense and believe that the more vowels there are in a word, the more sensible and bright and brilliant and clever you are. Well, we all know some words like wheelbarrow, but it doesn't solve the problem at all. This legislative interference has had many false starts. And these initiatives failed in the past because at least some politicians saw what the import was, what the effect was. And the critical thing that's required in politics, and sadly that is so often lacking, is that people don't understand the need to ask good questions and keep on asking them until you know what the truth is. Even like a child does. A child keeps asking a question because they want to know. And there's so many adults that are feeling so arrogant they don't want to ask a question and be seen to be ignorant. They'd rather just keep quiet and remain unaware of what society needs or what legislation is required in a parliamentary sense. And boy, it happens so often. This is a case, so simply, of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's as clean as a whistle. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And if you've got 150 bureaucrats behind this, when we have got thousands of nurses missing and thousands of specialists we need in education, then I would somewhat suspect why we are going to waste all this money. Worse, their solution is unproven. It has no merit, but it's designed to do something else. It is designed for some foreign economy and not ours. It's that simple. It's designed for some foreign economy and not ours. We all have ailments. As a young person with serious asthma, I had to eat comfrey every morning. Boil it up. It's a bit like they say about kippers. If you eat kippers in the morning, nothing worse can befall you for the rest of the day. But I ceased being an asthmatic and got over it really fast because I stuck to this natural recipe of comfrey. And most people here wouldn't have known what I'm talking about. But it was in all the orchards and all the gardens all around this country, way back when, in the period that Mr. Moller was talking about, in the 50s. Now, we don't want to be nostalgic and go back because everybody says nobody wants to hear about history. But the fact is, Gary was talking about a time when we were number 2 or 1 in the world. And we can get there again, but not the kind of thinking you're hearing enunciated behind this legislation. The New Zealand natural health product retailers, distributors, and health practitioners are facing a slow death. If this gets away, that's what will happen. And the people who live here are being ignored in favour of the people who live somewhere else in the world. What on earth's going on within this country? You know, there's a precedent, of course. I don't know if you watched the Chemist Warehouse starting, but it started up, they got an All Black and his wife and said, let's go. These are out of Australia, and all the money in the health system that's provided by the taxpayer, we're going to get our share of, not for the New Zealand economy, of course, but for Australia. And Grant Robertson was told, and so was David Clark, the Minister of Health, by me and others, in written form. You've got to stop these guys in your track. You've got to get rid of the $5 fee because you're allowing the takeover of New Zealand's health system for international profits abroad. And they didn't raise a finger. And here we are, facing that right here, right now. Go and ask the pharmaceutical industry, who you might be opposed to, but I'm talking about our national interest now, putting our country first when we make these decisions. I mean, why do they have the New Zealand in front of the name of the Labour Party or the National Party, or for any other party for that matter, when on this case, in the case of this legislation, the Greens and Labour and National and ACT have already voted for it? It's not through yet, but that's what they've done. And I can't understand why they've not seen how problematic this matter is. Particularly when 65% of New Zealanders, by their own payment, their own income and their own investment, are telling them that where they believe in therapeutic products. 65%. Or is it you don't matter? It's strange, really, because frankly, There are some people, and I suspect a few in this room, who don't bother to vote or don't bother to register, don't bother to get enrolled. They think that we're all the same. Well, if every 60 seconds, of every 60 minutes, of every hour, of every day, and of every week and every year, these people are controlling your lives, I suggest you get on the roll and start doing something about it. It's in your hands. This bill is going through Parliament with Labour's, Greens, National and the ACT Party supporting it. This is dumbfounding stuff. Why? Is it this because these people are globalists? They probably think Klaus Schwab should be running the world. But what happened to looking after our own people first? Because that's what they'll do. In the coming 5 months, they'll be telling you, if you but trust them, they'll look after you. But here's the evidence. No, they won't. You know, in 2007, this has got a forerunner about it. I remember 2017 and onwards on this as well. But in 2007, I was the Foreign Minister of this country. Annette King was the Health Minister. And they're trying to get it through the back door by getting Alexander Downer, the Aussie Foreign Minister, to try and get him to persuade me in a bilateral meeting. And I said, Alexander, I'm not the Health Minister, I'm the Foreign Minister. And plus, my party's against it. He said, but you could turn it around, you could change their mind. I said, yeah, I could, but I'm not because you're wrong. Sorry, you can and stick to the agenda. I'm not here to talk about health. I'm here to talk about international issues, foreign aid, the Pacific, and a stack of other things. But don't come from the back door with me. Because Alexander had a habit sometimes of trying to play the senior soldier. So I gave him the Muldoon line, listen, I was in this game a long time before you, and I'll be around long after you've gone. So I'm not doing it, okay? But Annette King will attest to the fact that that's exactly what happened. It was this, I love the words they use. It was harmonisation. And it's anything but harmony. It's discord and rife at that back home where we are. Our health system, ladies and gentlemen, is in a total mess already. And don't believe me, but believe Rob Campbell. He was the one who was trying to fix it up before he took a walk. And all he was doing was making a comment, which maybe he shouldn't have made, but frankly, somebody should make the comment when the health system is that bad and you're trying to fix it up, because what we had in our country was a massive waste where people were waiting so long for an operation and they're dying. That's the point. This is preventable death going on, and no one's doing a darn thing about it. And they won't have an argument about it. We've got this idea, we've got to change the name of the health system to Te Whatu Ora. Really marify the things, while Maori can't get an operation waiting 4 or 5 months. See the joke here? No priority. And we're to get back to some common sense solutions on this matter. If 65% of New Zealanders are using these products, they are a majority. But as you know, the old saying, Russ never sleeps. And they never give up. You've got to be, was it John Philpott Corrin said in 1796, the condition on which God has given liberty to man is eternal vigilance. And boy, it's on this matter, it's true as well. We've got to be on the case all the time, because they will never go away till the one day they think they can get the thing sneaked through. Now, I just want to say this, you know. There are some people here who will say, we have to do an advertising campaign. We'll put a whole lot of adverts in the paper. Well, if you examine all that, you'll spend a lot of money and it won't have any effect at all. Or you can organise an army of people who will make this an issue at the 2023 election. Now, this is not a political meeting. It's a meeting about medicine. But as a good book says, by their deeds, you will know them. And I'll let you make up your own mind about that. Thank you.